Yes.
So, without further ado, we're going to send it over to Studio 2A with Lando Chill.
The last start to being human is the show of love, like Monet and Van Gogh. But it cut above. See, I'm Pollock with the words in the fistic glove. Held just right above the olive branch, and the dove with wings clipped and beat, chip in a glass cage. And it's like the whole world's a zoo where everybody watch screens and shit. You do you. Why does cellies in your body and your bulletin hobbies need their vitamins too? When vodka then don't count. Still the feds are welly to the bellies of American youth. The voting booth, we the edge of the tip of the tooth. See the mouth so wide, we split pride while it swallows the truth. We split pride while it swallows the truth now. We split pride while it swallows. Catch thermals with the feathers of the dharma of my soul. Hit the bowl off the face of a cliff and go to space for a bit and dream back all the land that we stole. From the forest of the rain to the southers of poles. We burn the darkest of coals and pipeline the earth's blood. Daylight, come on at night. We're not planning gives up. We give the gale some shrugs till it's deep impact. And we pray into the gods that none of us love. So lace up, big fella. And watch them pockets, use people for their profits. Like ain't you from the tropics? They stories for our topics. Peep the optics like. Peep the optics. Peep the optics. But them rose in the glasses fitting mighty nice. Ain't no fog up in them if your skin tone light. While you sit up beneath the sun till that skin tone right. We pray to make it through the night if our fate is right. Like say we make it through the night if our fate is right. Make it through the night if our fate is right. Say make it through the night. Make it through the night. Make it through the night. Say we make it through the night. Make it through the night. Say we make it through the night.
Dá coisas propósito. É o que o coração precisa para prosperar. É o que dá coisas propósito. É o que o coração precisa para prosperar.
To a spirit from the cosmos, with the rage of a man and the knowledge of apostles, and so old as fossils. Sat right on the cross with the air of all knowing, like the flaws I was showing. For he spoke, but his mouth was still. He laughed and said, you know now who you are. And like a voice from a bar who spoke verbiage from the window sill of God's palace said, we're born under that malice of human will who pop pills to write ills. And right wills and no frills, and raw deal and happy meals. Be the backbone. Take it slow. Know your seasons, baby. Know your reasons, baby. Know your seasons, baby. Change your reasons, baby. I said I know your pain, I know your pain, I know your pain. Take it easy, baby. Love ain't easy, baby. Take it slow, I know you're scared, I'll be right there. Know your seasons, baby. Change your reasons, baby. Take it slow. Know your your seasons, baby. Know your reasons, baby. Take it slow. I got fever, got flow, I got reasons to go. And I ain't gon' stop. No, I ain't gon' stop. No. My favorite part of Shawshank is when that old man carved his name in the wood and died by his own hand. His feet us freedom in that legacy. Our bones turn to sand, yet our names will live on in our fans and our stands. Am I as ruthless as I think I is? I took a social quiz on this psychopathic part. I scored about a 96 quick. Take a pick now, he's a walking riff about to blow a clip. In the stitch, right above the itch, you pitch the twitch. Using our soul, the sound be even. I pitch the twitch, using bleach till my skin is bleeding. People need a reason, I don't. You think you sleep at all, nightmares so vivid. You think it's your blood pouring out, that's fitted. I'm the unknown prodigy, turned the lead assassin with culinary passion. As if your chick was asking, I heard she taking lashing. I need designer ration, that means she take her while she eat my trippy kid. Whoa, with it Phoenix, lighter skin socialist. Now the real world with the Saturn. Can I spit you to be the rocks that I bury with? Nicks, KZs and chick, then send a pack to more doors. Pit, they yelling cook, lance cook. So yes, I cannabis, meditate my chakra up, so my chi will never miss. Now water bearing feel about my dreams in Atlantis. Is in the shot, killing spouses, praying mantis. No, now these unusual betrayals start below the navel, and then we're broken hearts on film as if we watching cable. 2 cheers for these lines, 3 shots with your wine, and life becomes a little more, little more. These unusual betrayals start below the navel, and then with broken hearts on film as if we watching cable. 2 cheers for these lines, 3 sides with your wine, and life becomes a little more, 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 little more stable. I'm a little more stable. Yes, I'm a little more stable. 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 Yeah. A little more stable. 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 A little more stable.
You're tuned in to 91.3 KXCI Tucson. My name's Matt. This is Locals Only. I'm live in Studio 2A with Lando Chill. Let's start with some introductions. We'll go around the room. Let us know who you are, what you're doing tonight.
Those with privilege can speak first. I'm messing. I'm messing, guys. It is a good joke. Shout out to KXCI, first of all, for having us here. This is awesome. Real people, real radio. Shout out.
Yeah.
My name is Lance. Most of you know me as Lance Allen because you just Facebook friends with me. But my name is Lance. I go by Lando Chill on my weekdays. I like to listen to the rainfall, and I have a cat named Bilbo.
Righteous.
There you go.
This is Lasso. I play the keys, the sampler.
Hey, what do you like? Tell me two facts.
Lance is putting everyone on the spot tonight.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
This isn't about me, man.
Really righteous answer. That was a righteous answer. My name is Chris Pierce, and I play the bass.
Know two things about you, Chris? You gonna do me like that?
I like chocolate chip cookies and the bass.
True facts.
Righteous.
Wait, why wasn't Miranda in one of those?
Oh, Miranda's amazing. Yeah, righteous. Miranda's amazing too. I love her. Of course, that's a given.
Yo, real people, real radio, right?
Yeah, real problems too.
I'm messing with them. I love these guys.
So, really excited to have you in here tonight, and yeah,
Thank you for having us.
absolutely, and excited to be able to talk about the new record.
Cool.
So the new album is "The Boy Who Spoke to the Wind,"
Yeah.
and it's been just about a month now that it's been out. Is that right?
Yeah, it feels like a year.
Well, let's go back to the beginning of the gestation period. When did you start working on this album?
This has been, I guess, a year-long labor of love. I would say 2000. When did we go to Madeira?
April 2016.
April 2016. So before then, I'd say January 2016 was when Andy first gave me the first sounds that ended up being "People Are Evil." That was the first, I guess, record track that I got that is still on the album. There are a few tracks we did beforehand with different people and had different vibes, but "People Are Evil," I think, which originally was called Lagoon. Shout out to
That is one of my songs.
yeah, shout out to one of Lasso's old songs. But yeah, we flipped it and became People Are Evil, and that was the first iteration. So I guess a year gestation period, huh?
So you mentioned the trip to Madera Canyon as kind of a formative experience in the creation of this project. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, I'd say that was, I guess, formative in a way that we actually probably only used one song we made in Madera Canyon on the album, and that was "Take It Slow." It's cool because we have all this footage of us making "Take It Slow," so it's kind of cool to look back in retrospect and be like, man, that's one of the craziest songs we made, and that was one of the funnest songs to play, honestly. So, but I think what we learned was how to make music together. I think that's what really came of Madera Canyon. Some ideas, definitely hanging out and kicking some ideas around with some cool people. But it was really how we wanted to make music and how we worked together that really sort of came together.
So process-wise, what was different then about making this record compared to the last one?
The last record for Mark Your Son was definitely a boom bap, hear beats, write something and rap to it. There's no change. It's just a loop. And so, as far as the first album is concerned, it's amazing. I mean, shout out to D-Funk and Jetlag, who were gracious enough to produce it. But I think I wanted something more orchestral. It needed some composition, and Lasso is, and I will say this with confidence, is probably the best person I know at composing and curating a sound, especially something as wondrous and and unique as his sound. So that, coupled with the fact that we have Chris over here who just lays down the fattest of low flows and loves to come up with ideas, just getting them on paper is where all of us come together. So yeah, there's a pretty big difference. I mean, some of these songs don't have drums. We came up.
They're vastly different records.
Yeah.
They're very different.
Yeah, like I would say, like probably night and day.
Yeah.
Someone said we were TV on the radio. What'd they say? No, it was no, he's a weird looking guy, and Radiohead.
Tom York.
Shout out to Tom York.
Yeah.
Shout out to Walter too. Shout out to Walter. He got us water.
Thanks, Wally.
But they said there's an article or a review that said we made a leap.
Right.
As monumental as
OK Computer.
OK Computer.
Or something.
That's right. Yeah.
Did you read that?
I did read that.
I read that too. I felt good inside.
Well, and
Chris isn't feeling that one.
Chris is lame because he doesn't like Radiohead.
I'm not a big Radiohead guy, first of all.
But that was a
Secondly,
cool.
That's just so
That's a cool.
hyperbolic, and it's such an intense statement.
Right.
A lot of people have very
Frank
intense
Ocean.
feelings about Radiohead. I don't know.
Yo, shout out to Sir Block, by the way.
Yeah.
That's
We
great.
played their release show yesterday. Was it
Very
yesterday?
cool.
2 days ago? My days kind of like flow into one another.
Yeah.
I think I'm like always perpetually stoned.
I'm not like weirded out by the Radiohead thing. I'm gonna go back to it for 1 second. Like just because since we're talking about making the album, it's like that album was different for them because they got like new instruments,
Right.
and like they didn't depend on like, oh, we're a band who plays instruments in a room as the start of the process.
Sure.
And that was what we changed too, which I think was similar. Like it wasn't like here's music that we play live in a room and then we go over it. It was like it could come from anywhere. You could sample something you heard on the street and that could turn into a beat down the line. We used just a different order of instruments.
Sure.
Compared to the previous album.
And I do think that when people listen to the album, they will be struck by the diversity of texture on the album, and the fact that it really is a musically varied album that also has a sense of cohesiveness. It's not like just a grab bag of we're gonna do a song that's like got like a calypso beat, now we're gonna do a ska song, and now it's like so I'm curious though, what do you see as the connective tissue, because it is pretty diverse, but are there things that you feel are kind of consciously running through the album that pull together those diverse strands?
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the biggest things that I feel is the theme of the album, and that is what I learned when I read Paulo Coelho's The Alchemist. The greatest lie one is ever believed is that he or she or they are not in control of their own fate. And so that is the central theme I feel that encompasses the whole album and is present throughout every song. But also another connective tissue is Lasso's unique style.
It's a sound.
Yeah.
Lasso's got this very particular sound with the way that he produces, and
Yeah.
And of course, with all three of us working together, it kind of it's very trippy. It's very it's righteous, though, but it still
trippy.
grooves and it's head noddable, and
Yeah.
So I think that's a big part of it for me. When I first started working with these guys and working with Lasso, we were doing like just a straight live thing. We had the drummer and
And then we went crazy.
yeah. That was a righteous effect.
Wow. Had that in his back pocket.
Yeah, that was great.
I was watching Reggie Watts like earlier today, so I'm feeling inspired.
But I definitely feel like once we started working on this record and really started embracing the sound that Lasso just kind of inherently has and like the music that he tends to make with his keys and with the samples and with everything that he plays, the guitar, everything.
It's beautiful.
And all three of us together obviously make it what it is, but I definitely think the big connective tissue, obviously what Lance said about the book The Alchemist and such, but as far as a sound perspective, I think a lot of it is Lasso's vibe and Lasso's perspective. You know what I mean? Musically, that is.
So we've been talking about the sound. Let's get back into it. Let people, now that we've deconstruct it a little bit, they can decide
you guys
what they think. Yeah, but once again, we're here live in Studio 2A with Lando Chill, and we'll be here for the next 40 minutes or so. And once again, the new album is The Boy Who Spoke to the Wind.
KXCI, real people, real radio.
Ready?
When did that rain? When did that rain? And that when did that rain? When did that rain? And it's call your name, call your name, and it's call your name, call your name, and that when did that rain? When did that rain? And that when did that rain? When did that rain? And it's call your name, call your name, and it's call your name. Call your name, I guess I'm destined for defeat. Said that land to the sea, the sun smiled in pain while that moon, it wept to sleep. Every soul that ever stirred simultaneously took that great sigh of sadness for that land of the bleak. I guess the meek lead the meek like them shepherd of sheep. Guess these people legislate beyond that suit and the tea. Let's be that sweep and the creed, a heady prophet who got love for that sea. Now not to part for parting means the end of life, but then we said that land to that sea and that moon to that deep. See the sun die in pain, now all that moon went to sleep. Call your name, call your name, call your name, call your name. said I fight Sir John Disaskin. Black is on ass, I freed them. Take hostage while Freeman played on me. Triple-digit deaths everywhere I step. I can hear a shallow breath of dying man from a hollow set. Hollow points bursting my dough tech. Beneath the bed of purses is where we lay our nation's curses. Triple-digit deaths everywhere I step. I can hear a shallow breath of dying man from a hollow set. Hollow points, Berkshire Model T. Beneath the bed of purses is where we lay our nation's curses. They wanted free labor commanded by saviors. Common enslavers, some British, some Quaker. Even Brazilians was moving and shaking. See how you think half of them look like the maker? You wonder why people start selling their neighbor? P.O.W. and even that labor and then to your soul for that shadow life flavor. We were the product, commodity profit, but stronger than fruit, we're gonna lose for that slaver. Longer than news, we're gonna use for that trader. Maybe it's evil, these people who saved it. Colonize land and name it our saving and burn it all down to this ash. Bottle our bones and our spices for cash. Vulture the culture, erasing that class, erasing that knowledge, you squandering the cause, pursuing that earth. Now the sunshine never set. Over the land of lost command. Now you could take yourself to push, but we gon' never learn the West, I said. The sun shall never set over the land of lost command. You can never trust the way.
Real people, real radio. Yeah, yo, Chris popped his upright out of nowhere, out his back pocket, yo, straight up, started slanging on that bad boy. I was like, yo, Chris,
That was righteous.
you're such a low flow master.
Thank you. I try.
I was gonna say something else, but we can't say that.
Shut your mouth.
No.
You know, like that.
You a dirty mother. Shut your mouth.
Yeah.
Shout out to Blaxploitation Films. Shout out to Matt Milner for having us on. Shout out to Locals Only. This is amazing. This has been amazing.
Thank you. It's great to have you.
Yeah.
And
30 more minutes of this.
yeah. So I don't know what we're going to do. We're just going to have to make fun of
You're
everybody,
stuck
I
with
guess. Yeah.
us. Stuck with us right now.
So once again, here with Lando Chill live in Studio 2A, we've got Lasso on, keys, beat making, tools, toys, whatever you got over there.
Lasso, why don't you tell him what you got for the specs? Oh, wait, shout out to Altrees, aka Mike. He's listening right now. We played a song. Yeah. So shout out to Mike.
Yeah.
Altrees.
So yeah, give us kind of a rundown of what you have on your magical little table over there.
I got a Roland JX03 synthesizer. I got a Space Echo guitar pedal.
Oh, snap.
I got a APC 40 mixer running Ableton. And I got a key step sequencer. And so the sequencer can run the synths, or it could run the drums, or I can do a lot of different stuff with it. I can control analog things and digital stuff. I can drop samples in. I can take them out. And as you heard on that last one, I did not take the bass out there. So I don't know. Yeah, kind of.
You got an album taste, right?
Yeah, it's like we have elements of our record that we mixed, but they can always be flipped around and freaked. We can make stuff longer, shorter, have different ebb and flow, and it's kind of what we've been doing recently.
Yeah.
Trying to add some different sounds here and there. We played a little bit different bass and keyboard parts every time. Lance was freestyling how he sings and raps. So yeah, it's a setup that just allows us to respect what we did in the studio and use those sounds because they can't really be created with a band easily, but also be able to be free to be musicians and improvise.
Be free, be who you are. In an old time.
That too.
Yeah. So speaking of the live component of this, you decided to do something a little unorthodox for the album release show.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about that.
Well, it was really, me and Lasso, I want to give credit to Lasso for finding the space, and shout out to the Arizona Museum. Is that
Presidio Museum?
Oh, the Presidio Museum, not the Arizona Museum. Sorry.
Yeah, we played our first show there at Nolf a couple of years ago.
Was that our first show as a band?
Our first show as a band was at Nolf.
Wow.
I guess it was.
That was 2 years ago.
Was it?
Yeah, it was 2015
years ago.
because Montreal came and played.
Yeah, so we just thought of it from that. It was cool.
Totally.
But continue what you're saying. Yeah.
Oh, well, Andy thought of it. It was Andy's idea, the whole thing. Andy made. Oh, no, I'm just kidding. Andy sort of like brought it up to me, and I was just like, I mean, yeah, that could be cool. We really wanted like 2 shows. We wanted a very chill, very intimate, all ages show, and then we wanted like a little party show, for all the party people. But then when we actually thought about it, and we thought about our personalities and music in general, and the kind of people we wanted to come, it was really apparent that 1, the party thing wouldn't work out, and 2, that's not what we made the music for at all. And so Andy brought up the Presidio again, and I was like, oh, okay, cool, I'm all for it. And then remembering some of the history behind it and how that was where Tucson was sort of annexed and created and founded over sort of bloodshed in a way. Not sort of, it was. It was sort of a reclamation of taking that space back. It was also something that we really wanted to do, which was move away from the sort of bar aspect, and not saying like having a show at a bar is a bad thing, but we really wanted the focus to be on the music, focus for people to actually be there,
right?
And sort of respect the space and respect each other. And the Presidio Museum was like a perfect space for us to sort of have no stage, be really grounded with the earth and with the music we were playing, and also lend something different to the audience. I don't know. I don't like being like up high. I don't like heights. First off, and second off, like being on the stage is kind of a pain in the butt because it's weird having people look up at you. I don't know. It's easier and more meaningful, and it's just more person to person, just to be on the same plane and just vibe that way.
So once you found the space and you had a sense for what you wanted the vibe to feel like, what did you do to curate the experience of the audience?
Shout out to Frank, our sound guy. We were able to set up such that you could stand we kind of set up in the middle of the audience, which was just kind of we just thought about the music, just like what could serve this and make it enhance what we were doing, and with the really ethereal, washy sounds we're using, I think that was the root of the idea somewhat. Okay, we can put people in that as opposed to they're standing and watching it, make them kind of feel like they're in the music. Just kind of a one-off thing, we only made this out, we only put that album out once, so just trying to find something that was a little different and totally fit the feel of the record. And that's something. It's we're gonna, I think, make more music in the future, and maybe some of that works at bars. Just being conscious of putting your music in the best space it can, to just make sense.
Yeah.
It's kind of.
Yeah, I agree. Sorry, Mike.
It was beautiful. It was a great night. It was really righteous. Everybody's sweating together and enjoying some music. It was righteous. Altrice did a beat set. Ben B did a beat set.
Shout
it
out
was,
to Bambi and Altrice.
There were lights strung up. Yeah, it was beautiful.
Shout out to Frank for being an incredible sound person. Shout
Frank
out to
killed.
Caitlin for coming and helping us set up lights. Shout out Andy worked the door.
Yeah, I worked the door.
Lasso was a killer door guy.
We should actually make Lasso the door guy all the time.
That was awful.
He was a little lax in his duties when you were playing, probably.
Yeah,
but-
yeah. Shout out to that guy who took it over and didn't take the cash box and run.
Wait, somebody took it over? Was the homie David?
Yeah, he's cool.
Oh.
He wasn't ever gonna take it. Run.
Okay, cool. Shout out
He
to
didn't want.
David.
He did not want to do it, but
Nah,
he
him.
stepped in.
Hell, not even. Shout out to the plug, David.
So, we've talked about what the record sounds like. We've heard a little bit about what the record sounds like, and you also mentioned, thematically what some of the inspiration was in terms of The Alchemist. But, another thing that I think would strike someone who listens to both albums is that the last record had a very deeply personal lyrical content, and on this record, though it's still personal, it's also attacking more universal themes and topics and
police brutality, immigration.
Absolutely, topical, important political questions.
Yeah.
How do you, as an artist, take that same sense of a personal voice that you cultivated in your music before, and then go about applying it towards these enormous questions?
I think it was really under the guise that I became who I always was supposed to be, and I say that in a broad sense because I wrote "For Mark Your Son" almost in conjunction with some of the songs on "The Boy Who Spoke to the Wind." I found The Alchemist while I was writing and putting out "For Mark Your Son."
Right.
So it was a continuous effort for me to be able to live life every day as if I was going to die the next. And that catalyst and continuous drive of that purpose, for that purpose, better said, allowed me to understand that although I have a personal voice, it is not important to the greater good of what music can be and what it can do for people. For Mark Your Son is deeply personal. One of the most personal and honest projects I've ever made and probably will ever make, as far as letting people know who I am.
Right.
And that's all they get. I'm a private person. I'm just a very private person. I don't go out often anymore. I'm just a homebody. I like to read and play video games and get high and find things to learn. And so having to be that honest was very hard for me in that first album. So understanding what I was able to bring in that first album, working with the voice I have now, I was able to put my knowledge and my voice to good use in this next album. And we didn't really want to talk about any old thing. It wasn't like I wanted to circle jerk about, like my personal life and, oh, sad as me or happy as me on this album. That's, other artists can do that. That's fine. And it makes great music, but there's a purpose that I feel like I serve in this chaos of a world, and it's to try to make this world a better place. And what I'm good at right now anyway is music, and I have people around me like Chris and Lasso who are willing, able, and ready to help in that crusade that is, naive in a way, but I mean, there's got to be somebody here willing to just put themselves and their art and their craft through the ringer in order to make this world a better place. And that's something that we wanted to do. I mean, me and Lasso talked about it. We talk about it all the time. You know, Lasso's been a musician for almost half his life, if not more. And so he's made music. He's recorded with a ton of people. Chris, almost the same way. I mean, he's like 50 years old, so he's made.
I'm up there.
He's made music like 25 years. No one's
30, man.
I'm 26, so am I 20? No, I'm 25. Dang, I'm give myself a year. But
I'm 6 years older than Lando, just so everybody knows.
No, you don't. So
6 plus 22.
yeah,
32.
So with such learned people in the music industry like these two people and learning about their craft, it's not necessarily about making just music anymore. It's about leaving a lasting impact upon this world. And so explaining what I wanted to put across with my music and sort of the theme of the book, which the greatest lie one has ever believed is that he or she or they are not in control of their own fate. It was sort of this marriage of concept and style and sound. And he has Lasso's an amazing sound that complements that, and Chris has an amazing low flow that complements that as well. And it's a blessing to be a part of something like this with people who are learned but also want to do it for a reason.
Yeah.
So long story short, yeah.
So which feels more vulnerable when you're performing, doing the deeply personal material or tackling these topics where you feel like you have a mission, that there's something where a purpose of trying to use your art to make the world a better place?
I'd say they were both the same just because, well, I lied. Yeah, I guess the more personal songs are, they're not difficult to perform, but they bring up, I guess triggering would be the closest word I could come up with, but they trigger a lot of old emotions. Like I wrote that album, I wrote For Mark Your Son as a way to get over the death of my father. He died when I was 4, and it took me over like 20 odd years to finally come to terms with the fact that I am who I am because he is not here, and that isn't a bad thing. That life and death, good and bad, are all the same thing. It's how you react to it is what becomes art, what becomes love, what becomes pain, joy, madness, chaos. It's really how you react to it. And I guess I was just done being sad. I was done being alone, lonely, and done being depressed, done being suicidal. It was just I wanted to be me. And reading The Alchemist helped that, because the greatest lie one has ever believed is that he or she or they are not in control of their own fate. And it's pretty damn simple. I mean, like, if you want to be happy, like, do things to be happy. It's an everyday effort. It's like 100% everyday effort thing you need. I mean, it's not like you do one thing and you're happy one day and all of a sudden, like, that makes it chill for the week and you're set. Like, no. Like, there are days that are bad. There are days that are terrible. And you have to use those to your advantage.
Yeah.
I mean, it's better said than done. But I've had a lot of things happen to me in my life where I could have just, like, quit, and I almost did a couple of times. But reading that book at the time that I did, and understanding that I was my own God and I controlled my own life, really helped me to be who I am today and create this music and be privileged enough to hang with people like Lasso and Chris, and to be on the up and up and hang with you, Matt. And
we're privileged to have you.
It's awesome.
We've got time to do another set here. Before we get into our last set, just some practical stuff. If people want to listen to this album, what's the best way to do that?
Oh, man. So, go ahead.
Yeah, it's everywhere you'd stream music. Spotify, iTunes.
Spotify.
Napster.
iTunes. What is it? Napster? We're on Napster.
Soulseek.
SoundCloud, Audio Mac. But for real. The best way to purchase the album would be iTunes or Bandcamp. Bandcamp is better because they got the artists on lock. Shout out to Bandcamp. If you want to stream the album, which is also something awesome you can do, because that is promotion. Don't get it twisted. We don't make any money off streams, but swear to God, it looks good as hell when we have people actually listening to the songs. So if you got Spotify, look us up. Please give us a follow. Give us the tunes. Crank it up. Share it.
Yeah, and if you're looking for the wax of it, that'll be around like about the last week of August. So you can get that through Lando's Bandcamp.
Yeah. Wax available.
Via our label. Shout out Mellow Music Group.
Shout out to Mellow Music Group, who put out both of the albums. Love you, Tiffany. Ooh. Sorry, I'm on Instagram Live. And Instagram living half this interview. People are saying hello. So shout out to Tiffany. She was in a coma. She random story. Sorry, side note. The homie Tiffany.
What's she saying now?
I don't know if she can. Oh shit! Oh, nuts!
Oh, I saw the guy reach for the button, but it looked
nuts. Tiffany was in the coma. She's not in the coma anymore. Shout out to Tiffany. I love her. Real people, real radio. That's all I can say right there.
Lando Chill, live in Studio 2A, here on Locals Only. We're going to wrap things up with one more set.
We fight for the sake of a future, not ours. See, we work 40 hours just to line every pocket as paper means power that will never go sour. So we think, but this land's made from honey and milk, built with silk from the sinew of our will to continue to bleed for our land, to make peace within a hand that built for your dreams you saved up for till you done for. So matter to self, not to wealth. For that labor of love is really worth it. We're perfectly flawed in all destruction we aimlessly cause, and wonder to pause when there's someone in need. Now plant that seed and concede that we're built on regret, and forget them limitations the society has set for your mind. As I step on the road less traveled like the Tower of Babel, we rise as we fall. So we rise as we fall, we die as we crawl, we give it all. We rise as we fall, we die as we crawl, we give it all. We rise as we fall, we die as we crawl, we give it all. We rise as we fall, we die as we crawl, we give it all. The sky and ocean, brother and sister, meet at the horizon and speak about why people pout when the water runs clean. I said the water runs clean and we dream about more. Not if we can make it through the night. You see the sky and ocean, brother and sister, meet at the horizon and speak about why people pout when such a place lay before us. A land forsaken by the many who forget its name. Who spread blame with hot knives and oil sticks over human, fed with toast to our indentured orange jumpsuits with numbers for names. You see, they were people before the system failed them. They raised your profit margin, not the Negro jog, and you got for them likes. You see the sky and ocean, brother and sister, meet at the horizon and speak about why people pout when such a place lay before them. Such a place lay before them. Such a place lay before. 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 Such a place. Such a place.
presente. E seu propósito foi dentro de você esse tempo todo. Você decide se você usá-lo para fazer esse mundo um lugar melhor ou não.
This is why I exist. Yeah, used to be that beacon. Yeah, used to be that beacon. Oh, 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 oh. That heart can show the mind. This is why I exist. The brain can snap the spine. And will lose everything in time. Everything in time. And you're all of my people. 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 With paper printed, that glass encased your fame is fitted. Now run that race and pray them ankles sturdy, cause the future ain't. Know the future, know the future ain't. Know that future ain't. Know that future ain't. Future. Children not worlds not of this. Cast from that kiln to the tomb of the rich. Now father to time and the mother of bliss will ride upon wind to save us from this. Mother and father, save us from this. Save us from this. Save us from these. Save us from these. Save us from these. You never call. You never know. Say when we die young and nobody grows old. Now I cherish your journey. Now you try to stay gold. For when that time comes, all you got is your soul. I hear the first thing you do to win over the love of someone's heart is to make them a playlist. Waylaying the senses with auditory passion that's meant to mimic the adoration you feel from head to toe, like the ebb and flow of the tide around your feet. Each note, each word upon bated breath serves its purpose. You see a vehicle of feeling one can only gather from soft tones and brittle bones in closets we own. The gaze between us, made steady with every moment, our fingers intertwined like vine around the tree of life, is an eclipse seen from a distance, captured by heart and pen, to be spent again until my eyes no longer have sight and lungs cease to breathe. I try not to dwell on the ponderance of time, for we all wish we had more, as if the store had just run out. But what if not time could coerce us toward action, as martyrs in a war between head and heart, rationale and emotion, reality versus expectation? You see, I promised you I wouldn't fall. I swore to you my harness was tight and secure. Dug into the rock face we created when we first laid eyes beneath our warm embrace. Now, my honesty has forced its hand in between nail and stone until I realize that I've already fallen. You see, there's acceptance in death, as there is in love, that not but us broken, confined within the fabric of time we have on this earth. My body is in pieces, content with the looming patience the night brings, for when you've fallen, sometimes staying down is easier, but then again, is anything in life really that easy?
Lando Chill, live in Studio 2A here on Locals Only. Guys, thanks again for coming down tonight.
Thank you for having us, man.
It was a pleasure and a privilege. Shout out to Matt, KXCI, Real People, Real Radio. Shout out to Hannah, Rusty, old boy Rusty. Everybody in the sound room, swagging it out. But thanks to Lasso and Chris for being so gracious to play. And let's all thank the last episode of Game of Thrones for being good.
It was pretty good, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was pretty good.
I haven't seen it yet. No spoilers.
But an unshout out to HBO. I do not want to watch some show called Confederate. Ixnay on the Ispay. Yeah, bad idea. I don't know if I wanted to bring that up on air, but I did. So shout out to the hashtag No Confederate.
Real people, real radio.
All right, everybody. We'll see you next week. Thanks again for tuning in. The Hub is up next with Bob Girth.
Shout out to Bob.
Audio Jungle.